Everybody, it's Eloy of Third Eye Games, and we currently have the Pip System core book Kickstarter going on, and I've gotten a couple questions as to how easy it really is to make a Pip System character. There's actually only the 3 steps, and I wanted to go ahead and go through them and see if we can get some examples out there for you guys. This month I actually asked on my Facebook page for some concepts for characters that we could go ahead and use in a video like this for backers. So we went ahead and got 4 different concepts here. One is a snarky hacker, one is a space marine, the other is a vampire hunter, and the other is an alchemist. Let's go ahead and I'm going to screen share with you, and we're going to go through the process. So what you're seeing here is actually a preliminary layout for the Pip System core book, and what you're seeing here is the first page of the Chapter 1, Making Characters. You'll see here in the green is that there's 3 steps. You choose. 1 is choose an archetype, 2 is choose skills and qualities, step 3 is roll on some random charts. So let's go ahead and start with the first character. We're going to make a modern snarky hacker. For that sort of concept, I'm thinking that the Tinkerer is probably our best bet in terms of an archetype. So the Tinkerers are the, they like to fix things, they like to take things apart, they like to know what makes things tick, and they're fun. So that means that step 1 is already done. We went ahead and picked Tinkerer, so now we just have to fill out our sheet and know what information is going to go in there. So the first thing that it tells us is that we're going to have 5 physical health and 5 mental health. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is also a form fillable of our preliminary sheet that I've created for the play testers and whatnot. There may be a few changes, but this is pretty much what you're looking at in terms of a character sheet. We might actually expand it out to 2 sheets for more information, but this is what we have right now. So 5 and 5 for mental and physical health. It also says that we start with aim 1, coordination 2, and crafts 2. So we get 5 skills automatically. So coordination 2, aim 1, and crafts 2. Now that's actually pretty important because computers works off of the crafts skill. So that is going to be very useful when we get to that. Our special ability here is that we can create an instant gadget. So that's once per session, the Tinkerer can make a crafts roll, and if successful, they can apply 1 item quality to a weapon, item, or vehicle. It is always temporary and fades at the end of the session. We have an instant gadget, add 1 gear quality to a weapon, item, or vehicle. So that means that they're very they're handy. They're good with their hands. So that's really cool. All right. So then that's their good thing that they get, and then their bad thing that they get is called a hindrance, and it's called pack rat. It says the Tinkerers are pack rats and like to keep things they find helpful in the future. Not only are they slightly disorganized, but they are also weighed down by the stuff that they carry. They suffer a -1 penalty to moving quickly and must make an investigation roll to find specific items in their gadget lab. So we're going to go pack rat, -1 to move quickly and make investigation roll to find things. That's step 1. That's what the archetype gives us. It gives us our starting skills, and it also gives us a special ability and a hindrance, as well as, yeah, that's it. So step 2 is select skills and qualities. Now your skills can range anywhere from 0 to 6, and there are 14 different skills, and you get 16 points to build. Now, I know some of you are already doing your math there, and that would tell us that we end up with 21 total build points between 14 skills. So for those players who are very into having a balanced character, if you really wanted to do that, that would mean that you would have half of your skills with 1 rank, and the other half of your skills would have 2 ranks. However, that's not really the way that I like to build my characters. I like to build them based on what I'm trying to do. So if this is a snarky hacker, the first thing I'm going to want to do is spend a point to bump up his crafts, his or her crafts. So of course I want to bump crafts up to 3, and because that's what computers works off of. But we do have 16. We have 15 more after that. So I don't know if I want him to be a really good person at close range fighting, so I'm probably going to stay away from strike. But I do want him to be good at range, so I'm going to throw 1 more on aim. We'll give 1 in athletics. Since we want him to be snarky, let's go ahead and give 3 coerce, and maybe 2 charm as kind of a backup just in case his snark doesn't work. I also want him to be able to resist things pretty well, and let's bump up his knowledge and make sure that he's kind of a know-it-all. So that's 19, so we have 2 more skill points to give. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him 2 in investigation, and then what that is do helps him to find things in his laboratory or his office or whatever you want to call it. So that's the start. So you'll notice here that we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4 skills that were at the max that we can start off with 3 dice. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 that have 2 levels, 1 at 1, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are with no levels in them, and that's okay. Some characters aren't going to be very good at things. So now that we have that, we have 10 points to spend on qualities. Now, this can include anything from skill qualities that enhance your skills. There's also advanced qualities, which give you special abilities kind of similar to the ones that you get from your archetype. There's also items, tools, weapons, and whatnot. So the first thing I want to do is I want to spend 3 more on a skill quality of computers. So I'm going to give the character 3 more in computers and the computers quality. Now, your qualities can only go as high as the rank that you have in that skill. So if I wanted computers 4, I would have to bump my crafts up to 4. So right now that means that this character will be rolling 6 dice for anything computer related, which is really good when most difficulties go up to about 5. So that's 3 of my 10 quality points. I think one of the things that I'd like to do is to get him a cool high-tech laptop. So let's go over to tools. So basically with tools, you pick one type of tool. You basically pick a skill that your tool is going to assist you with. So if I'm picking a really cool laptop, then I'm going to pick, I'm going to spend 2 of my build points, 2 of my points there, and I'm going to give a +2 bonus laptop. So let's go down here, and it's going to be a tool, laptop, and it's a CR2, which gives +2. There you go. So it's going to give +2 to any uses of the craft skill for computers. And what I'm going to also do is spend 1 point to treat the laptop like it's armor. And I'm also going to armor it, and I'm going to spend 2 points to give the laptop 2 armor, because I think that that's going to be really important to the character because their lives are on there. So I'm going to spend 2 more points, and now it's got AR2. So it's +2. Let's reorganize this information here. Let's CR2, and it's so it gives +2 bonus to crafts, and it gives and it has armor 2. So that's 4 more of my points, which gives me 3 more points. So let's go back to the skill qualities, because I don't know if I want him to have any special weapons or anything like that. I think he's pretty good then at that point. Let's go back over to skill qualities, and let's see what we have to work with. So let's see, under charm we have attractive, we have empathetic and haggler, On a coerce, we have liar, scary, and tempter. So you know what? Let's give, so under coerce, let's give him 1 level of tempter. I kind of like that idea. And then let's give him under charm, let's give him 2 levels of attractive. And that means that anytime that his attractiveness would come into play, he'll get 2 additional dice. So that would be my final 3. So we have 2 in attractive, 1 in tempter, 3 in computers, and then we have a souped up laptop, which actually means if I am doing computer stuff and using my laptop, I actually have 8 dice, which is massive. Now the character is very focused, so he doesn't really have a lot of other things kind of going for him, but this is not a bad character. So he doesn't have any magical knowledge, he's not great at performing, he's not very good at sneaking, he's not a close-up fighter, and he's not great in the wilderness. However, he's really good at investigating things. He's very good on the computer. He can be the face of the group because he's got really good charm and coerce. He's slightly athletic, and he can fight at a ranged, and he knows a lot in terms of knowledge. And he's really good at not getting hurt with resist. So there you go. So that's the last part that we have is the random charts. So if we go to the random charts here, we're making this one a modern character, so we're going to roll on the modern charts. I'm going to roll 2 dice basically 3 times. I'm going to roll it the first time to figure out which 2 charts I'm going to be rolling on. Then I'll roll it again for a result for the first chart, and then I'll roll it again for a result on the second chart. So the 2 charts that I'll be rolling on will be fun items and tech. So my very first item is going to be a boombox, which isn't necessarily that modern, but I really kind of like the idea, especially if he's kind of the bombastic, kind of snarky character. He's probably playing loud music all of the time, so he really likes having that sort of thing. So he's got, and then my second roll is going to be on modern tech, and and I have a 3, which is an expensive laptop. Isn't that funny? Now, normally, items that you receive with your character will end up giving them a +1 bonus whenever they're using it. This actually means that I can apply this additional +1 bonus to my rolls with my cool laptop that assuming that I had the laptop and then I spent more points to make it more powerful. So actually now I will end up having 9 dice whenever I'm rolling with this particular laptop, which is pretty nice. So then we have connection charts and backgrounds. For instance, I can roll and I have a 7, which means I want to help my friends and others in their goals. So not only is he a snarky hacker, but he actually does want to help others. He probably is just one of those really snarky guys who just comes off wrong, but he's actually good at heart. You know what I'm going to name him? I'm going to name him Malcolm, because I really like that. I'm a player, but yeah. So that's a finished character right there, and it didn't actually take us all that long, except that I was explaining how it was going along. We're doing it. The next character is going to be a Space Marine. So I kind of know what I want this one to be modeled after. I'm going to use the Warrior archetype. So this actually says that they start off with 7 physical health and 3 health. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3. You'll notice that it will always total up to 10, and that can be raised with experience. But to start, it always totals to 10. The good thing about Warrior and the generalness of the archetypes in general is that Warrior in a sci-fi setting would mean a Space Marine. In a modern setting, it might mean bodyguard type or a boxer. In a spooky setting, it might mean a monster hunter. In fantasy setting, it might mean a fighter or bear. it can actually work a lot within the different genres, having the same basic abilities. So the starting skills are Athletics, Resist, and Strike. So Athletics 2, Resist 1, Strike 2. So it's already a really good close-up person. And the special ability is a new challenger. Warriors love to take on battles where they test themselves against new challenges. During a fight where a warrior is fighting an enemy for the first time, all sixes rolled for strike against the new enemy count as two successes. Sixes count as against new enemy type. So that's pretty cool. And then the hindrance for this character is warriors are very protective of their friends, almost to a fault. They try to shield their friends from any dangers they perceive, even if it isn't truly a danger. So if a comrade within close or range, a warrior reduces the physical hits of their friends would have been by 1, but takes the hit themselves. So basically, the warrior will take hits. Take 1 hit for friends close or near range. And that's an automatic thing. They just do it. So you're going to be taking more hits, which is why they ended up with the spread of 7 and 3 versus the last guy who had 5 and 5. So now that we have our archetype selected, we're going to go ahead and do our skills. So we have 16 skill points to spend. So I definitely want to up his strike, and I'll up his resist and up his athletics. Actually, let's make this one a woman because I really like the idea of the character from Wreck-It Ralph, and she was a space marine, which I really dig. So with that in mind, strike, resist, 3 athletics. You know, if we're going with space marine, let's go ahead and do 3 aim as well, since they're going to be firing guns a lot. So that's actually giving us 11 so far, so we have 10 more points to spend. I'm going to go 2 in coerce. I'm going to give 2 in coordination, and I'm going to do 2 in sneak, because I think that's going to be interesting. 1 in knowledge, and since I have 3 left, let's give her 2 in survival and 1 in investigation. Okay, so since she is going to be a space marine, I want to stay mostly equipment based. So let's spend 2 points on some armor. We're going to have armor, and we're going to have, well, let's spend 3 points actually. Let's make her super tough, and that'll give her, well, I have to spend 4 but I will give her a CR3, which gives AR3. That will cost me 4 points, 4 of my 10. So now she's got a special thing there, and I'm going to give her armor 1 extra cool. Let's say that, so let's give it mechanized, which means can take +1 action first round of combat. So that's pretty cool. So that actually means that we've spent a total of 5 points on her armor. So now let's go ahead and look at her ranged weapons. And let's spend 2 points on a WR2 weapon. So we're going to WR2. This is going to be her blaster, or her rifle, or energy rifle. And let's give it wide beam, which says hits double the normal targets. That's pretty cool as well. So now we have, so we've spent 3 points on the rifle, 5 points on the armor. That means gives us 2 additional points. Let's actually give her 1 in rifle, and I kind of want to give her 1 in scary. So she's going to be extra kind of in your face and scary. So there you go. That's that character. So now going to the random charts, We're going to be rolling on the sci-fi setting charts. And I'm going to be rolling on chart 2, which is research tools, and chart 5, which is going to be the weird. So let's roll on research tools first. And I rolled an 8. Instant travel food rations. So that's pretty cool. And the weird, she is going to have, I rolled a 6, have a digital skeleton key. So there you go. That's another finished character, and it didn't take us nearly as long as the first one, except that I still went and explained extra things. But that character is complete there. So on to the next concept that we have, which is a vampire hunter. We're going to go easily to the hunter, which seems pretty obvious. So the hunter starts with 5 and 5 in terms of physical health and mental health. Their skills are investigation, sneak, and survival. So 2 in investigation, 1 in sneak, and survival. And then their special ability is that they begin with a CR1 companion. I'm going to make his, I think seems pretty cool. And then his bad thing is this ain't the country. Hunters prefer the company of animals and the openness of the wild over cities, and lots of people feel out of place in cities and have a hard time relating, suffering a -1 penalty in these situations. So, good thing is they get a wolf, and then the bad thing is -1 penalty in crowded areas. That's the hunter. So there's that. So we're done with the select archetype. So now let's go on to the skills, and we will. I'm definitely going to bump up. I'm going to bump up sneak as well. I'm going to bump up strike because I really want this character to be very good at fighting, since he's going to be the undead. So, and let's give 2 resist. Let's give him some magic, some regular knowledge, and some athletics. That's actually 1 point over, so we're going to have to take 1 point away from something. Let's take it away from sneak. So now he's got 2 dice in sneak. So now for his quality points, and let's just give him 3 in swords. He's really, really so there's that. Let's go ahead and define these swords. They're going to be weapon rating 1 swords. Give it Bane, which is +1 hit to specific type. And first we're going to say, so not only will he be rolling with 6 dice with swords, if he's using his special sword, he'll get an additional die as well as do 1 extra point of damage to the vampire. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5 that we've spent. Let's bump his wolf up to level 2. So the rules on companions say, it says that they begin with quality points equal to 2 times their CR. So this character has 4 BP to be spent on qualities, which I think works out pretty well. So since it's a wolf, let's give it a tracking 2, and then let's also give it a bite 1, and let's give it tracking 2. Okay, so we're going to give it a sense of smell, so 2 + 2 dice anytime that it wants to smell anything. So And what the CR means is that for most actions, it's going to roll 2 dice, but if it's tracking, it'll roll 4 dice. If it's trying to do anything with the sense of smell, roll 2 dice. Now, tracking is connected to survival, and smell is connected to investigation. But if either kind of jumps into the other, they'll actually be rolling with 3 dice due to the harmonizing qualities rules. So that's 6 points that we've spent so far, which gives us 4 more points. I really want to purchase advanced quality for this character. I really want to give him dual wielding. So we'll look at dual wielding, and it says needs knowledge 3, strike 3, and 3. So with 3, we have strike 3, but we don't have enough knowledge. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift a couple of these points around. So we're going to shift a point of coerce over, and we will shift a you know what? We'll shift a point of investigation over. So now the character is very knowledgeable about these weapons, so he's going to have dual wielding. And what dual wielding actually grants is it grants +1 bonus when attacked and +1 bonus against your opponent as they're attacking you. So when attacking, when attacked. So that's called 2 points left over. So I'm going to give him jumping 1 for his athletics, and then I'm going to give him shadows 1 for hiding in the shadows. I don't even know if that's a oh, it is actually shadow. So there you go. So I'm going to give him 1 for shadowing somebody, basically, not hide the shadows, but shadow as in follow. I'll get 1 extra die for that. So now let's go ahead and roll randomly and see what 2 things we get for this character. Now, because this character is for the spooky charts, so I rolled a 10. I'm sorry. So I rolled a 6 and a 4. Be rolling on both the clothing and the weapons charts. So I rolled a 5 on the thing, and that gives him a gold chain. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So the gold chain could be something like the gold chain that his father passed down to him because his father used to hunt vampires too. Maybe we can even change it to a silver chain and say that it's what he can capture his vampires in, and it actually can cause them harm. So that's pretty cool. All right, so now we can roll for weapons, and I just rolled a 6, and I rolled a hockey stick. But since I actually kind of already have his weapon underway, I'm going to try and re-roll that, and he's going to instead roll on the mystery kit, and I rolled a 9 on the mystery kit. So he's going to get a pair of climbing, which I think is pretty cool. So he's going to have gold chain, and he's going to have climbing glove. Gloves will give him +1 die while he's using his athletics for climbing. The gold chain, I would even give him an extra die if he wants that for attacking. So there you go. There's another character here. We will name him Vlad the Hunter. And so there you go. Actually, I just realized I didn't name the second character. So we're going to name her Shanese. Shanese. So there we are. So we have Vlad the Hunter now. And we have one more concept that we need to go ahead and do, and that's going to be the fantasy alchemist, who uses creatures in order to make his potions. We'll make this one a woman as well. Might as well split half and half, right? Now I'm just going to go generically and just use a magic user archetype, but anybody can use magic. It's just that the magic user has a little bit of extra bonuses for anybody who's using magic. So looking at the magic user, it's going to give us 4 physical health and 6 mental health. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. All right. With magic user. The bonus skills are crafts 1, knowledge 2, magic 2. Crafts 1. And the special ability is called the Flare. Those unaware of how magic works, exists, may become frightened in the presence of a magic user. Onlookers must make a resist roll to feel compelled to run from the sight of the magic being used. If the victim fails and still wants to stay, they suffer 1 mental health. So, resist CR2 for others to not run away the first time they see your magic. So there's that. Now their hindrance here is called the quest, and it's that they have a thirst for knowledge, and they collect as much knowledge as they can. If they know of a magic item or spell book, they have to actually succeed against a resist challenge, or they have to immediately start going for it. And this actually raises in difficulty the further they get away from actually grabbing it. So it's going to be resist CR1 to resist not going for magic knowledge. I like that. So there's that. That's our archetype. Now for our skills, I definitely want to bump up his knowledge and his magic. Since we're saying that we want this character for her to be using animals and whatnot, we're going to bump up her survival so she has some knowledge of survival animals and whatnot. We're going to give her a couple for sneaking up against stuff. Let's give her a couple points of resist since she needs to resist. I'm going to give her a couple points of perform as well because I feel like she would be able to regale us with all of the awesome stories of her magic and her so that's 6, 10, 14 points so far. 14 points. Let's give her a couple points. Let's give her a point of aim. We'll give her a point of coordination, and then 2 points of investigation. All right, so I went a little bit over, so I'll take 1 point of investigation back. All right, so now that's what we're looking at here. For the next thing, since we want to make her an alchemist, we will jump ahead to the magic that has the rules for alchemy. Alchemists require crafts 4, magic 3, and lore 2. Okay, so we're going to have to go here and change some of this. So right now she only has crafts 1. So for her to be an alchemist, we need to move some of these points around. So there's that, and then we'll take 1 point of sneak away. So now she's got crafts 4. We're going to spend 2 of our quality points on lore. So, and now she's got enough to get alchemist. Right. So with alchemist, she can now she can create any potions that she has a recipe for. Just like spell, specific recipes are taken as spell qualities and carry 1 of that potion per rank in that. For instance, a character may have rank 2 in the healing potion, allowing them to carry 2 of them. So let's take a look at some of the different potions that we have here. So there are health potions, hiding potions, shrink potions, sleep potions, tracking potions, summon potions. So actually, since we want this character to be someone who uses creatures in her alchemy, let's give her a summon potion, because then she can summon the thing that she needs to slaughter there. So we're going to give her access to potions. So we're going to give her summon potion. Number 2 in that, so that means she can carry 2 summon potions at any given time. And then let's give her also a sleep potion, because I like that, sleep potions. So now I've spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of my 10. So 10 points is what I have to actually spend. So I kind of want to eat something in terms of some quality points. So some skill qualities. So let's give her storytelling to perform, and again, I'm making them up as I go along, which you can do. The book suggestions for certain ones. So let's actually go to the ones suggested for perform. We have actor, emotional, and specific instrument. So how about let's change this to emotional, since she's good at giving emotional, making her stories emotional. And then what I'll do is I will give her, and I'm going to give her 1 dot of fearless, which will give her an additional die when she's resisting fear. So there you go. That is actually a pretty awesome character with some cool she has at her disposal. Let's go to the random charts and see what we get. Now this time, we're going to be rolling on the fantasy charts. So I rolled 6 and a 2, which means we'll be getting Ancient Wisdom and a weapon. So let's roll for Ancient Wisdom first. And I rolled an 11, which gives her snowshoes. You can say that she tracks mostly frozen animals, and those are the ones that she likes to go after. Snowshoes, of course, will give her a bonus die whenever they would come into play, like trekking through, making sure that she doesn't sink into the ice and things of that nature. As for weapons, I rolled a 7, which means she ends up with a crossbow. Which is just a crossbow. It's just going to give her 1 additional die whenever she's using, whenever she's attacking, which she has no aim, which would mean she would normally roll 1 die and only a 6 would count as a success. But now that she's got a weapon, she can use the 1 die that that weapon grants her instead, which means she would still only roll 1 die, but a 4, 5, or 6 would work. So there you go, and that character is complete as well. So that's actually 4 complete characters that we went ahead and made. It didn't take us that long. It was actually fairly painless. Let's name this one. I really like the name Maggie today, so we're going to name her Maggie the Great. So she hunts. Imagine if this was a group of characters, because Maggie can lean on Vlad for his tracking ability. Of course, they have Shanese around because she's a freaking beast when it comes to taking monsters. And then you have Malcolm around, the hacker, who is there for colorful commentary, as well as being able to gather information quicker than anyone on the internet and computer research and whatnot. So hopefully you enjoyed that. That was kind of an example of what it means to make a character in the Pip system. I made 4 characters back to back, but just imagine if it was 4 players making characters simultaneously. It wouldn't take more maybe 15 minutes in order for everybody to get exactly what they want out of the character. But definitely thank you for watching the video. And if you have questions, don't forget to put down some comments. You can comment here or in the Kickstarter. So thank you for a great day.